The United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
They're welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, November the 26th. I think everyone knows what tomorrow is. It's Thanksgiving Day, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But this is show number 263, and we have a great show lined up today. I'm Lynn Morris, and you can see here that Dr. Mary Byrne, my co-host, is absent again today. She'll be back next Wednesday, and we think that she's probably out celebrating Thanksgiving with her family, and hope you all are going to do the same thing. Thanksgiving is one of those important. As I listen to our music to start off the show each time and the way we end the show, I just think about the blessings that we have. This country is the best country in the world, and while most of us are been blessed many, many, many times, we have some people that really are suffering it during this time of year, and especially during the holiday season. So I would say to everyone out there, I know my wife and I have already helped some people for Thanksgiving meals, but I would just say, check on your neighbor tomorrow. Call your friends. Call your family members that you don't see. Do something kind for people during this holiday season. While we have everything that we need, and we know Jesus Christ, He's the most important thing that we need, but a lot of people don't have those things. They don't have it. And so let's pray for them. Let's check them out. Let's make sure that we can help them if we can. Okay, so our guest today is a friend of mine. We've known him a long time. We've known each other for a long time, and you're a difference maker, Mark McNelly.
Good morning.
Good morning. I tell you what, you have been a difference maker for a long time, and you graduated from Ozark High School.
That's right, class of 90.
Class of 90.
Let's go.
I looked that up, and my wife graduated from Ozark several years before that, and also our three kids graduated from Ozark, and I think you know them. So, but anyway, you are certainly a difference maker, and this whole show is about difference makers. Mark is actually working with Victory Mission. He worked for Victory Mission several years now. How
8 years.
8 years.
December 11th will be my 8-year work anniversary.
Okay, and you are the director of restoration.
That is correct, yeah.
And so you're not restoring furniture,
no,
or you're not restoring cars, but you're restoring lives
and families,
lives and families,
the community through that.
Yeah, and so Victory Mission. Just tell us a little bit about Victory Mission.
Yeah, well, I'm the director of restoration, which is really focused on the men and women who are willing to go 12 to 18 months and build a totally new foundation for a new life. But Victory Mission has a much wider scope, right, of services that in ministry we do in the community. And so we have outreach services where we do emergency men's shelter and emergency food and clothing. And so, Work Ready Boot Camp is something that we do for our workforce development. We have internships for our program men and women for workforce training and case management for families. That is kind of the direction we're going with our food pantry. Instead of just everybody come, everybody gets food, we want to develop relationships with people so that we can stop that cycle of dependency. And so we have putting resources toward what we call the Victory Market. So instead of come, here's a bag, it's come and they actually shop for groceries based on their level of involvement with us and with their home church and in the community.
So do you deliver too? Do you help some of these people that don't have transportation to get food? Is that something that you help? I didn't see that.
We don't, but several pantries
Several
in the community
pantries do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Homebound is pretty well covered in the Springfield community
Okay.
as far as Council of Churches and other food banks and pantries do a really good job with that.
So how long's Victory Mission been around? A long time.
I think we're coming up on our 50 year. I think the historic stories are in the mid 70s, the couple on Commercial Street with opening up their trunk, and feeding the homeless. And so the Victory Mission, I guess, lineage goes back to the 70s and then obviously has grown dramatically from there. But
I'm sure there's lots of reasons why people come to you, men and women both, come to you, and I guess sometimes it's not just a single man or woman, but it's a family unit that come to you. They and before they got in whatever trouble they got into, they had a pretty normal life, probably, just like a lot of people. Maybe, I don't know.
Most that end up at our doorstep didn't have what I would consider to be a normal
life. Okay.
So there's something called the ACE score. Have you ever heard about it?
No.
It's Adverse Child Experiences, and there's 10 questions in the.
Okay.
You have heard that? Yeah.
Yes.
So when you ask the 10 questions in the ACE assessment, again, Adverse Child Experiences, it's not uncommon for men and women to be at a 6, a 7, or an 8 out of 10. And these are questions like someone in your immediate family was incarcerated when you're growing up. This is things like you visually witnessed abuse in your home, these type of things. And so it's pretty tragic. So I'd say a vast majority. There are, people had a good upbringing, and then they went wayward. We have that as well, but the vast majority are people that came out of pretty significant trauma and generational poverty and those type of experiences.
So Mark, is several of the people that come to you that you all serve and help, are they people that have had drug issues, drug addictions, alcohol issues, things like that?
Yes.
And so I figured they were. And so then do you have programs that you hook them up with to help? And you probably, I know we're going to talk about your restoration
program. Yeah.
But I'm sure, because that's really important. One of the things I was talking to Sheriff Brad Cole down in Ozark about, they don't, right now, I don't know about this week because I've been gone to a conference, but last Friday I think we were about 254 inmates in the Christian County Jail. 254, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we were talking about was the fact that why are they in jail? A lot of those people, he thought 75-80% of the people are in jail because they've had they either have or have had an alcohol or drug issue. And so I said, well, do we have any program to work with them while they're incarcerated? Because they're going to get out sometime. Yeah. And we don't.
No.
Now, one of the things that we're working on in Christian County is that we do have some opioid money. And it's getting up to where we haven't spent any money yet, and we've just been putting it away and drawing interest. But I think now we'll work with the judge and the sheriff's office, and I'd love to have a program that we could help the people that Judge Johnson sees in our court system. But I'd also love to work with the sheriff and have a program for his people. And then I want that third group of people that just live in the county, but they've not been in jail.
Right.
They've not had a problem, but they have problems.
Sure.
And we don't want to forget those people either. So I'm thinking that we have enough money now to work with maybe Borough Mental Health and lots of different groups to try to figure out how we can rehabilitate their lives, change their lives to where they can actually have, hopefully, like you said, you're going to be talking about a second chance, second homes.
Yeah, we believe people that are needing it and wanting it deserve a second chance.
Yeah,
And so I think Christian County does have treatment court. And
yes,
so
we do. We have
right.
a drug court and treatment court and veterans court.
So treatment court is a tried and true method nationally now. It's diversion, right? To try to keep people from ending up in county jail and facing longer term incarceration. But there isn't much while they're incarcerated. You are right about that. And that is pretty systemic in the jail system nationwide. There is some of states and counties have gotten pretty, I'd say, revolutionary about bringing treatment services into, inside the walls. And I think that's awesome. Treatment court is a way to try to address the addiction issue before, they're facing time. Obviously,
they get to make a very important decision.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to jail?
Sure.
Or do you want to sign up for this treatment program?
Yep.
And you've got to make a commitment.
Sure.
And obviously, if you make a commitment, but then you don't keep it, you may still end up in jail
facing those charges. Right.
Yeah. And so that's not good. But I'm really glad Judge Johnson does a great job, and I'm sure other counties in the state does the same thing.
Missouri has so I'm a part of the Missouri Recovery Support Providers and MOCRISP it's called. But Missouri is on the cutting edge with addiction and treatment services. And so Missouri does a pretty good job with that. Victory Mission is a little bit different as a Christian organization. We work with people that do, more of a clinical addiction support recovery approach. Our approach is a little different. We see addiction as still a symptom that they're usually people turn to drugs and alcohol because of something else.
Right.
Now, are drugs and alcohol causing problems and issues in their life?
Right.
Sure. Right. Relationally, criminally, of course. But what caused them initially to turn to drugs and alcohol? And a lot of times that is trauma, abuse, generational poverty, entrenched mindsets. And so the restoration program is a 12 to 18 month discipleship program, not addiction recovery. So we have a licensed professional counselor, and it's not that we don't address addiction, drug and alcohol, a dependency, but we don't see that as the exclusive thing to focus on. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah, we want to take a look. We want to go back and say, okay, well, where did things start to go off the tracks? Right. Is this an issue that you had, with your parents or with the friends you started running with, or some, we've had men and women in our program whose, parents left them in hotel rooms. What do you do with that?
Right.
Right. And teenagers who were basically pimped out by their parents. And so these things are happening to people, and then they end up in treatment court, and they end up in programs like ours, and their life is they've turned to drugs and alcohol. Right. They didn't know how to cope with that type of experience in their life. And so the discipleship program that we call Restoration, really, we have 5 holistic areas. So our holistic areas are spiritual, relational, societal, vocational, and financial. Okay, so we're a Christ-centered program. We're gonna address the spiritual area of your life. We're gonna address the relational area of your life. We're gonna teach boundaries. How do you have healthy relationships going forward? How do you repair relationships with the people that you hurt? Because once they end up at a shelter or program or treatment court, they've probably damaged relationships, right? With spouses and children and parents and close friends and siblings. And so how do we help you repair those relationships? So that's the relational. Societal. This is one of the most fun parts of our process. We teach them and walk them through, no, you're not going to go buy a car from a buy here, pay here lot and pay at 100,000% interest. No, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to require you to be fully licensed and insured before you can drive. We're going to look into and see how long ago did you pay your taxes? Do you owe back taxes? You have to have health insurance. If it's not a marketplace, then okay, we'll have a season here where we're going to do Medicaid. And so societal, productive member of society stuff.
Right.
And it's amazing. I'm going to say 2/3 to 3/4 of the men and women are in our program just have, by and large, lived off of the grid. Like they've driven illegally, right? And they don't file tax. They don't file tax returns. They don't keep their money in banks. You know how many people in poverty, you probably know this, that are unbanked. Like they don't keep their money in banks.
Probably most of them.
Yeah, it's a big number.
I mean,
Yeah. And so all of these things that we do on the societal is really trying to help them understand that these are the ways that we live in community with other people. Like this is how that works. And then vocational, we really focus on not just getting them a job, but helping them find the job that they're a good fit for, or career even. We have many of our restoration graduates that went to culinary school at OTC, that started their own businesses. Of multiple entrepreneurs that came out of the restoration program, and licensed HVAC techs. And so really trying to help in the vocational area, and then financial budgeting money. How do you learn how to, live off of your budget and save money? And so restoration is, I would say, a lot of approaches to people who find themselves particularly in criminal, facing criminal charges. There is a big focus societally on drugs and alcohol addiction. And what we would say is, okay, that's a thing to look at, but there's a whole myriad of these other things that you have to address, or they'll just trade that. What we see a lot of times is they trade that addiction for a different one. It might be gambling. It might be codependent relationships. It might be other unhealthy things. And so we've seen that a lot too. And so we want to hit all of the holistic areas so that we can build a solid foundation when they leave us, and when they graduate treatment court, for example, or they walk out their probation and parole. And so
Mark, this is amazing what you guys do. So you got men and women both.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they hear about you or find out about you? I mean, is courts sending them to you? What's the? I mean, I'm sure that sometimes they just walk off the street, but maybe they get somebody. They're homeless. Maybe they're living in a homeless encampment, and maybe somebody tells them about you. But I mean, I just can't imagine how all these they're all different people.
Yeah.
How where they finding you at?
Yeah, so jails and prisons are aware of us. And so the institutional parole officers, the inside parole officers, the case managers in the jails and prisons refer inmates to us. So that's one source where we get men and women. The other would be like stress units and short-term detox services across the state. So they're aware of us as well. They have our handbook and our application, and so we'll get those. Well, fax machines are a thing of the past, but by email from these detox and stress unit services. It is a lesser number that would come, how you would say, off the streets, but we do get that as well.
So, and it's a 12 to 18 month. What determines whether somebody goes 18 months or 12 months?
Yeah, that's a great question. It can be based on different factors. Sometimes they just need a little bit more money saved up to move out, because we have a savings requirement that they have to meet.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they're an 8 or 9 out of 10 on the A score, and we want another 6 months for them to meet with our licensed professional counselor and really settle into this healing process from past trauma. Sometimes we do require that they be at their current church and or place of employment for at least 3 months before we'll evaluate for graduation. So maybe they're at month 11 and they change jobs, or they decide to change churches. We're like, well, okay, that's going to set back, because what we want to see at that stage, toward the end of the stage of our process, is, okay, well, how well do you do transitions, right? Do you then retreat and isolate, or do you keep pressing forward with the things that we've taught you to do? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so how many people usually graduate?
We had 6 this year.
Okay.
Full program graduates.
So this is not an easy program.
No.
So I mean,
we have many open beds, as they call them, and people are like, "How do you have open beds? You're like doing all of this stuff for people." Well, think about it. You're asking an adult to push the pause button on their entire life. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
Now we're convicted that it's something that, if you find your life in this situation, that you desperately need this. But there's a small number of people that are willing to give that much up.
Well, Mark, can people? I mean, because we fail, everybody fails
Yeah.
at something, but you get back up
That's
and
right.
try it again.
Mhm.
So, what about these people? They enroll and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're doing really good for a few months, and then
Mhm.
they kind of backslide.
Yeah,
and,
fall off,
and
right?
they fall off.
Mhm.
Can they re-enroll? Have you had people that's graduated?
We have 3 what we call re-entry graduates.
Okay.
Yeah, where they've left us and then they came back and ended up graduating. So that's pretty cool. Out of 70, I think 7 full program graduates now, 3 of those are re-entry.
So you do have 77 people that you've helped to restore their life, jumpstart their new life, and that's pretty amazing.
That's full program graduates.
Full program.
Yeah, we believe that the men and women that are with us for 5 months or 8 months or 10 months and don't graduate, that we deeply impacted their lives.
Yeah.
We've seen close to 700
Wow.
men and women start the program in
something's going to rub off
7 years, of course.
and they're going to gain something.
So obviously we celebrate the 77 who walked it all the way out, but it's not uncommon, Lynn, for me to hear from somebody who left the program. And then there's a great example of one guy who ended up at a ministry up at Lake of the Ozarks, and he had graduated that program, and he had entered their staff as their chef, for the whole program. And he called me up 2 years ago, and he had left us 2 years before that. And he was just like, "Hey, I never should have left, but I completed this one. Doing great. Thanks for everything you all did." And so, yeah, we take heart in the fact that whether you walk this all the way out with us or not, we impacted your life.
Wow.
We planted seeds.
So, Mark, do you guys follow those people? I mean,
yeah.
do you kind of keep a tab with them, and they check in with you, and you kind of want to know what they're doing?
Yeah.
That'd be hard, but
yeah. Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah.
That is a part of our ministry. Coming up on 8 years that we have never done extremely well with, and we get that question.
Yeah.
And I think some ministries call it aftercare
Uh-huh.
or alumni care, those type of things. Like, how do you keep up with after they've left?
Yeah.
And on the alumni, like the graduates, we have an annual event for the men and for the women where we come back together. We have big potluck. We catch up with them. So far, since I've been the director of this iteration, I've been able to connect with 6 dozen graduates, if not just once or twice a year. But we're reaching a scale to where that's not really manageable going forward. And so, yeah, some type of a aftercare or it's just staying in touch with the men and women is something that.
Well, let me ask you that, Mark. So volunteers, how many employees do you have?
Victory is right around 40.
40.
Staff.
That's a good number. And then how about volunteers?
Oh,
You got
a lot.
a
Yeah.
lot of volunteers. And volunteers,
Mhm.
folks out there, whatever state you're watching from
Mhm.
today, hopefully all 50 states. I mean, listen, volunteers are extremely important. They're the lifeblood of all these nonprofits.
Mhm.
And if they didn't have volunteers, I was just thinking, I do a lot of volunteer. I'm on boards, lots of boards, but once I get through my last year, 26 as presiding commissioner, I might want to volunteer and help you. I think we could all do a big service if we followed up with those people.
Mhm.
And do you get some of those people to come back and be part of the program and give a little talk
Mhm.
to the people that's enrolled in your program?
Yeah, that's
Because
pretty
it looks
common.
like to me that would be a great
Mhm.
thing, is to have someone that's making it.
Yep.
He or she has made it. They've got a new life, a better life, and they could come and share what it's like to be more successful, more happier. I'm sure to know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So
Yeah, we have a few graduates that love to come back and do that.
Okay.
And then we also have graduates that have stayed with us and have risen up the ranks in our staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that gives them
So our chef, our head chef, our warehouse manager, our outreach chaplain. So my peer almost over on the shelter side, he's a 2020 graduate of the program.
Okay.
So it is, we have a lot of graduates doing really well in life that our program participants see every week,
Yeah.
because they they work there. But
Well,
we have ones that have moved on that do come back as well. And it's very important because a lot of things that the participants are struggling with early on is, can I do this? What does this look like to walk this all the way out?
yeah.
And so, you have these. We had a women's Thanksgiving dinner last night where we have 9 women's graduates. And so we invited the graduates with the current participants and the chaplains to all come together for a Thanksgiving dinner last night. And we had a few of the graduates there for that. And it was amazing.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, well, let's. I see your books here.
Yeah.
I've got your first book.
Yeah, Change for the Poor.
And so, but you have written 2 books.
Correct.
I'm going to let you describe the books because these books that you have written, are now using them in your restoration program.
Yeah, they're
probably the foundation, the curriculum.
It is
of your program.
Sure.
So kind of let the people know what you wrote.
Yeah.
And when you published them, and then that's your core of your studies.
Yeah. So 2021 published Change for the Poor, which I was on here.
Yeah.
Gave me the opportunity to share. So just to make it simple, this is the philosophy of ministry at Restoration, and this is the theology of ministry at Restoration.
And what's the name of that book?
The new me is the true me, Lynn.
Yeah.
Anyone who is in Christ is a new creation.
Yeah.
Right? Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we see, well, I'll bring it back to your direct question. So with the philosophy of ministry, we believe the 5 holistic areas, right? Spiritual, relational, societal, vocational, financial. We unpack that in here. The 3 principles of restoration, we believe that we have to be highly relational. Our chaplains have to, and our volunteers and our staff and our devotion leaders and our teachers. I get to direct this thing, Lynn.
Yeah.
But really the heart, the lifeblood of the program is the chaplains that work with them directly, the volunteers that come in and mentor and lead devotions and teach classes, and the victory staff. And so, not to take anything away from directing, it's an important role. Right. But this Change for the Poor, the philosophy of ministry, gets played out through dozens of staff and volunteers every single day. And so this book actually would help somebody. When you read this, we have program leaders and service care providers in other states, Iowa most recently, and Kentucky, who have taken their teams through this book and then called me, and I've kind of talked to them through, okay, so how does that play out in your program? And so this would kind of be the how restoration works, the gears. And then the theology of ministry, this is where we do not want to take men and women from a try hard to be a criminal, or try hard to be a, broken person, to try hard to be a good person, try hard to be a non-criminal, right? We want to help them understand that, biblically speaking, if you're a new creation, then, Paul uses these words in multiple places. You have all things. We've been given every spiritual blessing. You have all things that pertain to life and godliness. Like, Jesus meant something when he cried out from the cross, "It is finished," right? There are still things to do on earth, but in the spiritual realm, in terms of our relationship with God, he's finished. Like, Jesus did that. Right. We're not earning or achieving this position with God. So we teach them that, you have been made new. Your role now is to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what we teach is that a lot of Christians and non-Christians in their own ways are trying to change who they are. Whereas the Christian is called to change the way we think about who we are. That's the tagline.
Yeah. Right.
Many Christians are trying to change who they are. They're trying to become a new person when that work is already finished. Right. The process of Christian transformation is being the renewal of the mind, right? That's Ephesians 4, Romans 12. And so
we need you, Mark, to go out and teach that class to a lot of people. Not just because, honestly, that's a different way of thinking. I really believe that is the correct way of thinking. But a lot of
I think so.
A lot of Christians don't really understand that.
No, what I
And
saw,
maybe the ministers, I know we have a lot of great ministers, but maybe they also need to maybe have a Sunday session on
yeah,
that sometime.
I think they do.
Uh,
I've been a Christian 18 years, Lynn. I think on our last time I was here, I shared that I got saved at age 35.
yeah,
And so I plugged into the church I was at. I became a pastor at the church I was at. I did summer seminary intensives and hundreds of hours of self-learning because I've loved to read the scriptures and I've loved to learn. And for the first 12 years, Lynn, I feel like I digested mostly American Christianity as you were describing it.
Right.
God loves me. God saved me. My sins are forgiven. Now I better go out and be a better person and please God and obey him more, all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned in 2020 that became the genesis of this, it's the new me is the true me understanding of the gospel, restored my marriage. My wife and I were separated at the time when God revealed the fullness of the gospel to me. And then worked with my bosses at Victory to change the teaching because the teaching completely changed in 2020 and 2021 from a try harder Christianity to a finished work of Jesus. Like you can now rest in him. Did Jesus, I think he said something like, come to me, all of you who are weary and heavy with burdens, and I will give you rest.
Right.
A lot of exhausted Christians out there, Lynn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we teach our men and women that, hey, you need to rightly understand we use the word identity a lot. What is your identity? Who are you? Are you constantly striving to be something you're not? Or are you learning how to think rightly about who you are in Christ? And do you know how many times in the New Testament that the apostles use the words in Christ, in him, or in the Lord? It's over 260 times.
Really? Wow.
That's a significant number.
Yeah.
So Paul uses language like that we were in Adam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so God had to take us from being in Adam and place us in Christ. We had to be transferred from the domain of darkness into the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. So I believe what God did in 2020 for me, and I do agree, I think a lot of even ministers and a lot of people in the faith for decades need to rightly understand this message. And that is God is no longer asking you to change who you are. He's asking you to change how you think about who you are.
Think about that. And I absolutely believe you're right, Mark. And here's the deal, guys. That would reduce your stress level.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, today I know that just about everybody is stressed at some time. Don't believe somebody if they tell you they're never worried, they're never stressed out. In today's society and world, it is not a stress-free world, but it could be because of what God and his Son has done.
Yeah.
It could be a stressless world. And then think about that. If you accomplish that, think about the peace that you would have. There's times after I've prayed or I've attended a service, even today, I feel peace at everything because of what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you have a peace in your mind, in your body, and you just feel like nothing's bothering me, I'm just at peace with God.
Yeah.
And then that's what you need to try to shoot for. I know a lot of people don't have that. And I am so grateful that there are times when even at work, when I just call them some of the citizens in our county. We've got almost 100,000 people now, and some of them are advisors. I call them little helpers. And some of them aren't very nice little helpers. They're hateful little helpers. They say some pretty nasty things and stuff like that. But there are times because of my relationship with God that I do have peace at the courthouse.
Yeah.
And you're not going to bother me.
Right.
You're
That's
not
right.
going to bother me
because
I know what I'm doing and I know what God is doing.
That's right. You know who he is.
Your books are amazing.
Yeah. So you can pick this up on Amazon.
Yeah, because you don't have
the
to
new
take
me
your
is
course.
the true me.
Yeah.
And I do a workshop actually. So if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook or YouTube, The New Me is the True Me. This teaching is on YouTube. I have done 4 Saturday morning workshops for the community, and they are recorded and they are on YouTube at The New Me is the True Me.
Okay,
And
so The New Me.
you can watch you can watch me teach it, or you can pick up the book and take it. This is in a more of a devotional style. So if you watch the 3 sessions on YouTube, you're going to get it much more built out. This is a much more brief devotional. You can even take your, family through this.
And where did you, I forgot, which bookstore in town, independent, local?
Yeah, I did ABC Books,
ABC
Valerie.
Books. Okay.
Yeah, she did a book signing for both of those with me.
Okay.
And
Well, that's a great bookstore. I know Dennis had his own bookstore, and so yeah, we love books and stuff like that. So that's great.
But yeah, I could go The New Me is the True Me mode for hours, but you probably want to shift to all things new properties, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
okay.
What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to talk about our sponsors, and we're going to close with your last thing, because I think this is extremely important. And and if you have to go over 5 minutes or so, we'll be fine.
Okay.
But we do have 2 great sponsors that make this show possible, and one of them is Brad Pistow, certified fiduciary financial planner located in Ozark, Missouri. And take a pencil and paper. Make sure you write this down, okay? You don't have to be in Missouri. He's licensed in, 20 or 22 states. He has affiliates, friends in all 50 states. He contributes to USA Today, Financial Section, Wall Street. He travels the country and speaks. He's very sought out speaker on financial planning, retirement planning. Okay. I use him. A lot of my family and friends, business associates, friends I've had for many years in my pharmacies or whatever, use Brad Pistow. Okay. His phone number is 417-581-9222, 417-581-9222. His business, Ozarks Retirement Group, is a very important group, and they can help you. There's no charge. You can call him. You can make an appointment. He does not charge you a thing. And if you call that number I gave you, they'll send you a book. He has written 2 best-selling books on retirement planning. The first one is called Safe Money Matters. The second one is called Bulletproof. And they'll send you those books. They'll send you information, and they'll try to help you out, because I love the fact that he has secured Janet's and my life for as long as we live. And then for our family, after we're gone, they'll still have money too. He just makes sure that you're going to run out of life long before you run out of money. There's just no way you're going to run out of money while you're still alive if you follow his programs. So honestly, one of the best guys, one of the best sponsors. He's very generous and helps a lot of people. Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia is their other sponsor. They were Youngblood Motor Group, and they have been in business over 45 years in the Springfield, Missouri area, one of the longest family-owned car businesses in the Springfield, Missouri area. They actually sell cars to about 8 different states, not just to Missouri. So that's how well known they are and trusted. I bought a car my last 3 cars I've bought from them, but my last car I just bought was Labor Day, and I bought a Nissan. I bought a Kia. I bought a Kia SUV from them, and a Sorento, and I love that car. I love it just as much as the 2 Jeeps, Grand Cherokee Jeeps I bought from them, and they're great to work with. They have great service. They are just very professional. They have used cars on one side of South Campbell. They have new cars on the other side of South Campbell, Nissans and Kias. And honestly, you can't go wrong if you go see them. They've got great bargains right now on 25 models, still 0% financing. That's what I took advantage of. You can't go wrong with 0% financing. And so honestly, call them up. Let both Brad Bestow and Springfield Nissan Kia, let them know that we sent you up there. You won't be disappointed. I'm very particular about our sponsors, and these two sponsors are very, very good. So anyway, hope you took that notes down. And let's go ahead and talk about this last thing. I think this is so important that what you've done with this last program. So tell us about it.
Yeah. In 2021, 2022, I started to notice that the men graduating from our program, and now women, but at that time, men, they were now 2-3 years beyond a conviction, right? Or an eviction or financial instability. They had done a lot of work, to rebuild their life, graduate our program, and they could not find housing. They were paying hundreds in application fees and being turned down. The big three are the eviction, felony, or now low credit score. More property managers and landlords are checking credit scores.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if you knew that, but it's very, very prominent now, part of the discernment process for property managers. Anyway, and so I decided to do something about it, Lynn. I had purchased a house in the Oak Grove neighborhood here in Springfield in 2014. So I built up a little bit of equity. I got a second mortgage or a HELOC on that. And I bought my first property in 2022. My wife and I did. And the heart behind it is not to build generational wealth or to have a big portfolio. It's to help people in our community who need second chance housing, who need to get their first 12-month lease after not being able to get one for whatever reason, like I said, eviction, felony, low credit score. And 3 years later, I have done a couple of flips. So I think I'm on deal number 8 or 9, but I have 5 properties that I have currently held, and there are 10 rental units because some of them are multifamily. So I have 10 rental units in Springfield that are providing second chance housing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I have a single mom whose 3-year-old's father went on a complete meth bender. He's in jail now, but blew up her credit. Right, got her an eviction and blew up her credit, and so she works at a doctor's office. She's a great tenant. I've got another one that was referred to me by a housing specialist. So the Burrell and Preferred Family, they both have housing specialists. Did you know that? I actually did. Yeah. So when they do case management, one of the things they try to do is help their people with housing.
Well, that's important.
Yeah. And so now I'm on their grid, and one of my couples in a 1-bedroom just got their child back through family treatment court. Just these stories I could go on, but the heart behind it. And I just met at one of my open rental units. I just met a couple. Both of them actually got released from prison at the same time, and their PO, and I was working them through, got them really good jobs. I told you before we were on air, they make 6 times the rent in monthly income. That's double what I even require.
Right.
And so I'm going to take a chance on them, I think.
Sure.
They're filling their application out now. But the heart behind All Things New Properties is second chance. Like, there are people in this community who have the scarlet letter. Like, nobody's giving them a chance in terms of housing, and I am. And I've run into other landlords that are as well. There are some that are doing, private landlords and private investors that do it to some extent.
When we called you a difference maker, you certainly are. You and your wife are difference makers. Everybody at Victory Mission's a difference maker. But I'm going to add that you're a VIP difference maker, because here's the thing. You and I talked before our show started about people that go to jail, prison, and many, many times after they serve their time.
Yeah.
Okay, they serve their obligation. They do everything they're supposed to do. And then when they get out, nobody wants to hire them.
That's right.
We had an example in Christian County. And so Family Pharmacy hired them. I would never regret that. You have to give people a second chance. If people don't give those people And you're same way with a house. They have
Mhm.
to have a place to live.
Yeah, hiring and housing.
Yeah.
Two
So if you don't do
crucial
that,
chances they need to be
then
given.
they're never going to
Mhm.
succeed.
Yeah,
And we're all at fault.
Yeah.
We are at fault
Yeah.
if we don't help those
Yeah.
people. You have
well,
to
and it's
take a
easy to
step.
say, well, shouldn't go back to the old life. Well, okay, but are we creating a system? Are we creating an environment that makes them much more likely to return? Yeah,
Right.
if they're
Well,
not.
yeah,
Yeah,
if they don't have a job,
sure,
if they don't have a job, they don't have any money,
or place to
they're
live.
probably going
Yeah.
our place to live.
Yeah.
They're probably going to go back and
Those-
repeat the same thing.
Those are
Come
major
on.
stressors.
Come
Yeah.
on, people. All over
Yeah.
this country, help somebody out
Mhm.
with a second chance.
Yeah.
Thank
Amen.
you. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about real quickly here. You've got a new building. You're 80% there.
Victory Mission. Yeah.
Victory Mission.
Back off of all things new to Victory Mission.
Yeah, back to the original building that you've had for a
Mhm.
long time. Now you've got a new building.
Right.
You're 80% there. You need
In terms
20
of fundraising.
20 fundraising. You got 20% more.
That's
It's
right.
a $22 million project.
That's right.
And so, how do people? There are people out there that watch our show.
Mhm.
I know you're out there
Mhm.
and you have money. You've been blessed so many times, like I've been blessed so many times. You can help make a donation right now at this time of year, and they'll get a tax credit, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
my gosh, you want to pay the federal government money, or do you want to give some money to a cause like this?
We
You got
also
a choice.
qualify for various tax credits, like the NAP tax credits, our state, where you significantly save. I think it's up to 50% on your state taxes.
As well,
We're an
so-
authorized, Victory Mission is an authorized donation for that.
Okay.
You can talk to your tax accountant, or you can talk to our executive director, Jason Henson, loves to field those phone calls and help them with that as well. But yeah, our website, Lynn, victorymission.com. Easiest website to remember. It's on the background I see, victorymission.com. There's a button to click for the new building. You can get updates there about the new building, and you can give directly to that, or you can give on the main site for the operating budget. If people were curious this time of year, how could they give with like in-kind giving, not financial, but the shelter for men, we always need full or twin size XL not fitted sheets, definitely important not fitted, towels, steel-toed boots, flip-flop shower shoes, so basically any type of shower shoe, and then pillowcases. Those are tangible needs that we have for the men in the emergency shelter.
All right. Well, very good. Well, I tell you what, Mark, I appreciate you being here. Sorry it's been so long. I can't imagine that.
No problem.
I think 21 was the last time. It's
right after releasing Change for the Poor.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I make one more plea?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So for all things new properties, one of the things we need is distressed properties. That was one part of the learning curve there was, okay, to do this and scale it, build in the equity and be able to do more and more faster. Is that a proper English? More faster is to land the distressed properties. And there's a lot of people trying, we all get those postcards, right? We buy ugly houses. But if somebody is getting that postcard and thinking about calling and selling to one of these investors, reach out to me. I have the ability to purchase properties as is and close fast and that kind of thing. And what would help me scale second chance housing in Springfield the fastest would be getting a hold of properties that are very advantageous for that.
Okay, so you heard that, and so and how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Facebook. All Things New Properties has a Facebook page that is really pretty built out and easy to get a hold of me on that.
Okay, well, very good. I hope you get some contacts on that.
Yes, me too.
This is a life-changing process that you're doing for people, and I really appreciate that. And you're doing God's work, and this we all need to do more of that. So hey, well, I appreciate you being here today, and
thanks for having
wish
me.
you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and everyone out there just a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and just at some point of the day, I hope that you just sit back and think about all the blessings you've had for this year, and all the blessings you're going to still have. And then there's so many things that I think of in my life that happens every day. You just kind of take for granted,
Yeah.
but those are blessings too. And Mark, I don't know if you know this or not. Most of my listeners probably have an idea, but I lost my foot and my left foot and left part of my leg from a brown recluse spider bite
Oh man.
2 years ago. It'll be 2 years this Mother's Day, and so I'm was in a wheelchair until I got my leg, first leg, and I'm going to get my third leg in January and foot. That foot's actually going to go up and down, right and left,
Oh wow.
more like your real foot. And it's going to be, I won't be walking with the walker anymore. I'm just
Wow.
going to be doing a cane for 4 weeks. And then they tell me I won't be having to use a cane.
Wow.
So God is so good
He is.
because if I hadn't have been taken by ambulance to the hospital, after it happened, after I developed gangrene, I didn't know. My doctor that was treating me didn't know I had gangrene. So when I
Wow.
got to the hospital, they told me that I had about 6 hours to live. If I
Wow.
hadn't have got there sooner, I had infection all over my body and through my bloodstream, and
Wow.
it could have affected any other organ too.
Sure.
I think the doctor that saw me that day at the Mercy Clinic in Ozark was not my regular doctor. I think God put that lady there and sent me right away to by ambulance to the hospital.
Yeah.
The doctors there recognized it,
Yeah.
saw it, the X-rays, and I was in surgery just 3
Yeah,
hours
like
after I
that.
got there.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but anyway, so life is good, and now God's helping me work with other people just like me, where I can help restore their life.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you all have a great Thanksgiving. We'll
Yeah.
be back next Wednesday. Thank you, and God bless.